One popular way single people meet today is through speed dating. It's a bit like musical chairs, a series of short interactions or dates, some just 4 minutes long. When a social psychologist at Northwestern heard about the trend, he saw a great research project. That was 4 years ago. Today, Professor Eli Finkel has gathered some mind-tingling data about what attracts one person to another and what happens in those very first few minutes when maybe, just maybe, love is in the air.
Welcome to the Northwestern Speed Dating Study. My name is Eli Finkel, and I'm a faculty member in the Department of Psychology.
You could say Eli Finkel is a matchmaker. After all, students who take part in his speed dating research can and do link up romantically. But in order for that to happen, they have just 4 minutes. That's right, 4 minutes to get to know one another.
I'm Hillary.
Hi.
I'm Roger. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
In a moment, we'll talk about why Eli Finkel chose speed dating for further study. But first, if you're not quite sure how it works, here's Speed Dating 101.
You'll meet every opposite-sex person here for 4 minutes each.
Where are you from originally?
Originally from Bangalore, India.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was adopted when I was 8.5 months old. So,
Wow.
and then I lived in New Mexico my whole life.
What do you want to do with Chem and Bio?
So when I graduate, I want to do an MD PhD program. It's like
Oh, wow.
8 years, 2 degrees.
So you want to have a heart attack before you're 30?
After each speed date, you'll be given 2 or 3 minutes to fill out a questionnaire about the date. I'll ring my bell after each date to signal that the time is up.
All right, nice to meet you. All right,
Have fun.
bye.
Women at this session will remain seated at the tables situated around the room, and men will rotate from woman to woman.
I'm Mike.
I'm Hillary.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
At the end of the evening, the speed daters who match, in other words, the pairs who mutually say they'd like to go out, are given email addresses through a website. And then they're free to start dating as they please. That's speed dating. And we should note, this session was a demonstration for this story.
So here we've got the maid preferences findings, but over here...
For Finkel and graduate student Paul Eastwick, the idea for speed dating research came up 4 years ago. In class, they were having a discussion about the onset of initial attraction.
Right.
So what happens in between that first moment that you meet somebody and actually establishing and maintaining a relationship with that person?
And somebody said a great way to study that would be speed dating. So I think we started joking that it would be fun to take a field trip. And then we did. We took one.
That's right. The single professor went speed dating. For real. With single grad students in tow.
I left the one event with 2 predominant feelings. One was, that was awesome. What a good time. I would do that again. And the second one was, and what a spectacular way to study attraction.
The team would develop a research method involving 12 pairs of male and female students.
Where's the most out there place you've lived?
Australia.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
One of the other primary questions we were interested in is, if you ask people what they want in a romantic partner and then introduce them to a whole bunch of people, do those characteristics that they think are really important to them actually inspire their desire on the speed dates?
When they analyzed the data, the answer to that question was no. It turns out there's a discrepancy between the attributes speed daters say they're looking for and the types of people they actually pick.
There could be a couple possibilities for what's going on there. One possibility is that we really have no idea what we want in a romantic partner, and we should probably stop listening to ourselves. But another possibility is that could help explain why people get in relationships that end up being no good for them, because their ideals, they're just not using them right away. And so it could be that then later on in the relationship you realize, wait a minute, I like funny women, and now I'm dating this woman who's not funny at all.
Another question was selectivity. How do people feel about partners who are choosy versus partners who seem to like just about everybody?
I think if someone sits down and is like, hi, my name is Jane, I want to marry you, that would come off really poorly.
I don't want, her leaping across the table for me, which I know obviously would happen, but...
The social psychologists found a surprise that speed daters who seem to be too eager and indiscriminate tend not to do well. Those findings are in contrast to previous research on likability when romance was not a factor.
There have been several studies that have done that over the years, and they all show that people tend to like the person who likes everybody. Who doesn't like the guy who likes everybody, right? But in a speed dating context, particularly when you're talking about, sort of hot, more passionate type of liking, that effect totally reverses. So in a platonic context, be a liker, like everybody, they'll like you back. In a romantic context, don't be a liker because they're likely to dislike you in return.
Finkel says the lesson is not to play hard to get, but rather to be selective and open to the right person.
People seem to be figuring this out in only 4 minutes.
The study also found something about the speed at which speed daters make judgments.
If you pay attention to voice or if you pay attention to their body language, like within 5 or 10 seconds, you know whether or not like you are interested.
That first impression, that first millisecond, I think, is like a make or break moment.
What's been gratifying for these scientists since their work on speed dating began, their research has been getting widespread attention. Also gratifying, since they started this study, both Eli Finkel and Paul Eastwick got engaged. We wondered if they were able to find great partners by applying what they've learned.
Paul has some natural proclivities in the domain of women, but I had to use every trick in the book.
I don't think I was ever very good at applying anything scientific to my personal life. See, I think other people will be able to apply this stuff better than I ever could.
He's lying. I know all of his manipulations.